When the rich man asked Jesus, what good deeds can he do to enter eternal life? Jesus answered, why ask me about what is good? There's only one that is good. When he answered that way, it indicates that no one is good except himself, the Spirit, Father, and Son, which works all in one. So there is no good deed that we can do that automatically gets us into heaven. But then Jesus answered, if you want to receive eternal life, keep the commandments. The rich man asked, which ones? And it's funny that he asked that because us as people, we tend to pick and choose which commandments we follow or what is easiest to follow at the time just to get a self-reliance of that we can go to heaven. But it just doesn't work like that. Jesus then answers, you must not murder, you must not commit adultery, you must not steal, you must not testify falsely, honor your mother and father, and love your neighbor as yourself. Now there are 10 commandments, but in this text, he only told them 6 commandments. And those are the commandments that people from the outside can see and assume that a person is truly with God. But Jesus was setting this up to see what's really inside his heart, other than doing the things that people can see from the outside. The rich man replies, I have obeyed all these commandments. What else must I do? Then Jesus told him, if you want to be perfect, go and sell your possessions. Give money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. Now the rich man ended up getting very discouraged from Jesus' answer and walked away because he was a man who had a lot of possessions, but wasn't willing to give them up to walk with Jesus and for the eternal reward. Now in this text, what he was truly saying to the rich man is that if you live on this earth doing good deeds and being a good person, but are not ready to sacrifice or put worldly possessions over him, then it is impossible to enter his kingdom. The first 2 commandments is that you shall have no other gods before me, and that you should not make or worship idols. Jesus doesn't want us to literally sell everything we have, but for the rich man, that was the thing that he worshiped the most. And for some of us, we may have things that we truly cherish that we are not willing to give up for God, that will keep us from getting into heaven, because we find comfort in those things more than we do in God. Following up after that, when the rich man walks away, Jesus then tells his disciples, it is very hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Most times a rich man or someone that is in a very comfortable situation with whatever they got or do is not willing to make the sacrifice and get out of their comfort zone and truly trust the Lord. They lean on self-reliance and resources thinking that their money or possessions can keep them comfortable for eternity. They tend to make their possessions or their habits of their life their God to where the point that they will decline the invite to follow God. Us as people, we had to be careful not to be like the rich man because he was the man who was invited by Jesus personally to follow him. But since he made his possessions his God, he declined eternal life. And that's exactly what we do when we choose worldly possessions over Christ. After his convo with Jesus, his disciples asked, then who in this world can be saved? And Jesus answered, humanly speaking, it is impossible. But with God, everything is possible. Jesus is saying that by our own strength and our own human standards, we cannot make it into heaven by ourselves, bro. Keeping God first in everything we do is the only way. Peter then said to Jesus, we've given up everything to follow you. What will we get? Jesus replied, I assure you that when the world is made new and the Son of Man sits upon his glorious throne, you who have been my followers will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the tribes of Israel. And everyone who has given up houses, brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or property for my sake will receive 100 times as much in return and will inherit eternal life.